You're listening to The Source with Andrea Lawful Sanders on WURD Radio. Streaming live on WURDRadio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to The Source on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, where we're kicking off the Sassy Seniors live broadcast. Today, we're at 5201 Haverford Avenue, where the partner is Always Best Home Care Senior Service, ABD Philly, and ABC Delaware. Our sponsors are PICO, Comcast, and Keystone First. Let me just tell you all something. We just gave away 2 tickets to Frankie Beverly and Mays. I done told you all to come on down here and see Mother. Our winner is Miss Christine Siebert Williams, who says she listens to my show all the time, and she sat here and got her tickets. I done told you. I said, come on down and see Mother. We are not giving the tickets away on the radio. If you come on down to the live broadcast, we'll be able to give you your tickets on the spot. Okay? We just also gave away 2 tickets to the Universal Circus, and I'll give you that name in a minute. But yes, we're giving them away. We also have 2 more sets of tickets to the Universal Circus. So if anybody wants them, they can have them right now. And I'm telling you, this fine young gentleman has been sitting here just as cute as a button, socks matched, the ankle bone connected to the hip bone, to the necktie bone, to the elbow bone, to the lapel pin on his bone, just as cute as he wants to be. It is a board member for Spectrum Health. His name is Frederick Kinglee. How old are you, sir?
34.
See, you're about the age of my son.
A bit older. You said 26 to 29 earlier, correct?
Oh, look at you. You better come on with your sharp self. Tell me why. What is your role as a community advocate and board member, and what motivated you to serve on the board? You're 34.
I am 34. Coincidentally, I am the chair of the board here. So what motivated me was my mentor, Daniel J. Tan, who is the owner of Daniel J. Tan Law Offices in Center City, is also an alumni of LaSalle University. Shout out LaSalle, go Explorers. He reached out to me one day, I want to say approximately 3.5 years ago, and said, yo, got an opportunity for you. Not only is it based around healthcare, and coincidentally, I know Miss Marshall Blake well because I used to be an employee of Independence Blue Cross.
Right.
Big into healthcare, big into wellness and fitness. Actually ran just under 5 miles before I came here. And Big Homie was like, look, need you on this board, is at home. Know you staying downtown now, but it's right in the middle of 52nd Street. Like, pull up on us. So coincidentally, was already interested because, of course, my mentor had made mention of it. But when I walked in, I'd been going to my mom's house, and I'm from West Philly. Shout out Southside, 55th in Baltimore. You already know. Saw a friend I'd been looking for quite some time. I'd been coming home in between work, school, things of that nature. I was in grad school at the time. Hadn't seen him on the block in a while. He was here with his son getting health care, and I almost started tearing up. Like, I literally had not seen this man in months. And just to know that people from where I'm from had access to equitable health care, say no more. Sign me up.
Yeah. How did you get to this place? And I don't mean from the mentor asking. I'm talking to you now. See the look on your face. I'm talking to you now as a black mother, right? You are polished. You are polished. Let's not be. I'm giving you your grips right here, right?
Appreciate you.
You're polished. You're poised, and you are the chair of this board. How did you? Who were the people that got you to this place?
Shout out Mom Dukes. She's on 54th Street right now. I'll be sliding over to Southside right after this just to bust it up, go see her, go talk to my sister and my niece. She's really supportive, as were my friend group. If you're familiar with the Southside and 55th Street, I was a student of Transfiguration of Our Lord before it merged with St. Carthage. So had amazing teachers there, Mr. Hardy, just amazing people that not only reflected the wealth and royalty that existed within me, but existed within our community. Far too often you hear things based in stereotypes, just ideals of American society, specifically Black American society, and I'd never been really, I'd been confronted with it, but I was never taught to believe it. Something my sister says, and it's really cool, love you to death, Jasmine, is that I statistically could be a stereotype, but I was never raised as one. And that just always stuck with me. So, I mean, I still got homies on the block. I do it for everybody that calls and asks, what about this pandemic? The homies that really don't trust the vaccine and give me a ring or shoot me a message via social media, and we sit down and have a chat.
Right. Wow. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I'm looking at my own son, and it's nice to see, quite like you, my sons graduated from college, and they didn't stay in Philadelphia. They rolled out. One's in Texas, the other one's in New York. And they are carrying the mantle in a way that is often not expected of them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You are an example for so many young people here, and like you said, you're doing this work, but you also have your homies, right? You didn't leave your homies behind on the block.
See them every day.
See them every day. What does being the chair of this board mean to you and the work that you do? What do you do outside of Spectrum Health?
In terms of the role itself, or
in terms of what you do for a living, do you work within in healthcare?
So here's the thing: I used to work for a healthcare organization, but I work in technology, as Deborah alluded to earlier. It's a bit difficult to explain what I do.
Right. Okay.
So it's a combination of, say, user-centered design as well as some innovation processes. Shout out Jefferson University, their strategic design MBA, and my mentor, Drew Marshall, as well as Natalie Nixon. That's where my grad degree is from. So I take deep dives into businesses to help them better understand their user base so we can build more so products and services geared towards the user base as opposed to creating products and then trying to find a user to sell them to.
If I told you that my 29-year-old was doing the same thing at IBM, would you believe me?
I would, because I have some friends at IBM, and we've been in discussions about some work. He works in their design
Yes, he does.
I
and
know.
Has been up all night, sometimes for days, moving one thing over to another, has a whole team of people that he works with, and he's in charge of his team. So when I tell you I am super proud, so you do that, and then you sit on the board as the chair of Spectrum Health. Did you run into, and don't even look at them over there.
How could I with you right here?
Listen to this, and listen. Did you run into anyone looking at you and assuming that because you were only 34, that you shouldn't be in this position?
No, I'm quite adept at what I do. So I think it bleeds through when I run the meetings as well as my interactions with the rest of the board members.
So reverse ageism did not work on you?
As a joke, sometimes my mentor likes to make little jokes. Nothing too serious.
Yeah. So what would you like people to know about Spectrum Health since you are the chair of this board at 34?
It's just as simple as our mottos. We care, we value, we serve. What you want me to tell you? I'm a kid from the hood. I'm from 55th Street. Most of my homies still live in those Section 8s right there on Baltimore Ave. The ones that don't live in between there and Pine Street. I've seen some things at that police district on Pine Street.
Right.
That's not who you are. That will never define you. And not saying that it isn't a part of you innately. It'll help you grow in a certain way. I was speaking to some students at LaSalle University, and one of them asked me, like, really specifically, we were talking about design, and he just was like, real rap as a black man, like, how did you feel coming here? And I was like, bro, I felt alone. There's about like 12 of us, dog. Like, I moved most of my stuff back and forth on the Broad Street line and on the L to get to LaSalle. And I was like, dude, you have everything you need. Don't ever feel alone because people don't look like you, and know that there are individuals out here like me. So that would be my message for anyone. Not only can you do this, but you have more than enough too. And because this is such a community-centered place, I want everybody, West Philadelphia, our other states in like North Philadelphia, our Reed Street. I want North, I want South Philly here. We'll be opening something up specifically in Northeast. We've just appointed a board member who's fluent in Russian and can speak to the needs of that community. We here for Philly. That's all I care about is home.
Yeah. I have to go here with him because he's young, and I am loving the conversation that I'm having. You may not have ever met me before, but on this show, I love young people.
Well, apparently, a close friend of mine is marrying your godson, so...
Yes.
We'll be seeing more of each other.
At the wedding, at the very least, right?
Shout out Denzel and Genova.
Yes. And I've been mentoring him since he was 12. And he's a grown man now.
He is indeed. Very good man.
The crime rate and the violence, we gotta go there. We gotta go there. And let me tell you why we've got to go there.
Say no more.
Because I hear so much about, oh my God, it's our young black men, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and they're. What can we do? What are we doing that needs to shift and change so that our young black men are doing similar things. They don't have to do exactly what you do, but feel the courage and the grace and the space to grow, be of the community, but not be so steeped in it that it feels like it's choking them rather than giving them depth and breath to live. Am I making sense?
Yeah, it's making perfect sense. Andrea, yes. Let's start with exactly what you said, the grace in the space. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm not who I am or from where I'm from. There's a couple people that know me and like, ooh, that boy polish up real good. Because when you pull up to the block in the jeans and Timbs, the accent come out a little different.
Right.
We need to understand that this is a systems issue and not an individual fault. As Ms. Marshall Blake alluded to earlier when she was talking about individuals who are impacted by the opioid crisis. They're just sick people trying to get well. I would then make sure that people understand that about the community. If the community does not have access to equitable health care, which you do if you come here, guys. Make sure 5201 Haverford, pull up. We need you here. We want you here. We love you. But if they don't have access to equitable health care, things like job opportunities, education, coincidentally, my niece is special needs, and the local school cannot really help her with everything she needs. And even with that stated, I have some friends that grew up with me, went to like West Philly High. I went to West Catholic, shout out Birds. Like I remember having to help people write their papers because the books were older. Now, if we're talking about a full systems look at this, then yes, there's going to be some fault on the individual. But if individuals aren't fighting for and grasping at resources, then you probably wouldn't have these issues. Yes, there's going to be some things, and I wish brothers would do better, but far too often you hear the adage of the crabs in the barrel. I would then just challenge anyone listening to then recognize not only is the barrel not the natural habitat of the crab, but ask who put them in there.
Yes.
You might want to think a little bit about that.
And why does it serve them to put them in the barrel?
Look, sis, which
is not their natural habitat.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If you were trying to get yourself free, wouldn't you do anything by those means?
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's a very narrow-minded perspective, but I can't blame a brother for trying to free his kid.
I keep saying this, so I'm not young, but Tupac.
I mean, I get around.
Tupac would always say, if I am standing on the outside of the gate and I'm looking and I'm seeing you eating steak and filet mignon and crabs and shrimp every day and I'm hungry and I am knocking on the gate and I'm asking you, can I have something to eat? And I keep knocking and you're telling me I can't have something to eat. That analogy sticks with me because, like you said, the books are horrible. They're old and outdated. The buildings where our children are learning in and going to school. I went into Martin Luther King the other day and learned something that just made my heart bleed. The very adults that are supposed to be, standing up in the gap for these young people, there's a deficit gap. They see us in a deficit model.
Absolutely.
Even some of the adults that look like us, right? And so when you have that happening and we're being educated at a level that we think we're getting all A's and B's, but when we go to college, we're looking and we're seeing people who had A's and B's in other communities, and their work is far superior, which then makes us feel like, well, what were we going to school for, right? Are we learning in a different way? What I have found, though, is that once we get past the K-12 system, which I have heard white educators say this to me time and again, what blows their mind is that despite everything, every deficit and every roadblock that has been put in the way of black and brown children, when they get past the K-12 model and go to college and make it through those first 4 years, they're getting master's and doctorate degrees, right? So it's not like we're not smart enough. It's just that the people, the gatekeepers that are around us, continues to tell us that we don't have it in us. So when I tell you, it makes my heart glad to see you, and that you didn't lose who you are. I'm from Jamaica, so
no, I couldn't tell. I got some family over there, so I heard, as soon as you started talking, I heard that accent.
Leave me alone, because I think I don't have no accent. So leave me alone.
Don't lie to yourself like that, Queen.
Shut up, Troy. Be quiet, Troy. No one's speaking to you right now. Fix your facial expression.
You said speaking or speaking? What did Troy do wrong?
So there's a wrong emphasis on the right syllabus. I know. And I usually think it only comes up when I'm a little angry. But apparently I do have that slight lilt all the time. But there's always a discussion about making sure that our children are fully seen for who they are, not just what we think they should or couldn't be. And so you are right here at Spectrum Health an example of what is not only possible. Bless you, Because you literally could have chosen, and I'm talking to Veronica Hill Melbourne now, you could have literally chosen someone who was 65 years old, don't look anything like us, and went to an Ivy League, Penn, a lawyer, you know, the typical cliche of a board member. You chose not to do that. And this is the kind of board, in 2015, I got off of every board that I was on, because they were all cliched. This is the kind of board that I would love to sit on. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm not inviting myself to your board. I'm just saying. You
saw my eyes, Veronica, right? Because I was about to look.
I'm just trying to see, because this to me is a board that serves the community. This to me is something that makes a difference. When the chair is 34 years old, when there's a young, you see, I'm calling her young. Ooh, Miss Sassy Senior, who is 72, but she's a connector. That some of the board members are patients. Then that means you always stay connected with what's happening in your community. It's brilliant, and unfortunately, it doesn't happen enough. It doesn't, right? Because it's all about, well, I know so-and-so and so, and I need to sit on that board, I need to sit on that board. And the foundations need to do better. They need to do better about who they sit on the boards. I'm not saying you're saying it, I'm saying it, right? We've got to get better at this. So I would love for them to come and see how the Spectrum Health Board works, right, to get us to where we are. How long do you think you'll sit here on this board? What are the goals and plans? Tell Martha. Just me and you talking. What are the goals and plans on the board as the chair? What are the goals and plans you have right now?
Goals and plans align with those goals and plans of Veronica Milburn Hill, so she can elaborate on that
Lord
if need
Jesus.
be. Outside of that, I have a 3-year tenure. We got a little bit of media training up here.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah.
What would you say to young people who are watching you right now that are your age and younger?
What's up, dog? What you mean?
I mean, no, seriously, who think they can't do what you're doing?
Think they can't? Dog, you can do whatever you set your mind to. I mean, like, let's not act like there aren't real roadblocks and systemic issues.
Right.
But grab a mentor. Grab somebody to care about you. Real rap. Do what I did. It wasn't always mentors. It was 5 dudes on a block that just wanted to just hang out with each other and just care. That didn't initially turn into me being a board chair or us going to college. It was like, bro, we know what's going on out here. I'm going to make sure you get home kind of thing, where to this day, if my brother dropped me off from one of the bars we frequent, because I am old enough to drink, I know I look younger, I'm like, bro, text me as soon as you get in.
Yeah.
That's the kind of people you need around you. The kind of people that's like, dog, I don't care that it's 3:30 in the morning. Hit my jack as soon as you get home so I know you're safe.
Oh, you know I'm old. He said, hit my jack. And Eric, but that's true. That is true. Looking in and checking in on each other, it's really important. Yeah, I love that. And then what advice would you have for cranky older people like me who think we know everything and don't need to listen to younger folk? I'm just calling it like...
me in trouble.
No, I'm not. I want you to give them the advice because they're listening.
Honestly, I just need you guys to be a little more empathetic. There's oftentimes where I hear that I don't have a wealth of knowledge because of my age. My experience isn't wide enough. There isn't enough birth of that. But as you saw when you yelled out those Frankie Beverly and Mays tickets, that's when my pop raised me on. So I wasn't joking. I'm like, no, I'll go by myself. Like, I need them Frankie tickets. Like, what's up? Like, my mom don't even listen. I will definitely go by myself. Come home and just vibe out.
Well, let's just see if we had another pair around here somewhere. I don't know if we had another pair to slide out, but hang on in there. Let's see what we can find for you, okay? Frederick Kinglee, board chair of Spectrum Health. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. And from a black mama to a black son, kudos to you. I am incredibly proud of you. Go home and tell your mama when you leave here that a Jamaican mama says she done did well. She did all right.
I'll make sure she hears the message.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. If you were just joining us, we are doing a live broadcast kickoff for Spectrum Health Sassy Seniors. Let me just tell you, I'm feeling very sassy over here, too. We're at 5201 Haverford